Hi, guys. We're continuing on with our broadcasts in the study that we call Principle 1335. That's based on a passage of Scripture in John 13:35, where Jesus says, "By this, all people or all men will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." And so we're going to talk about how that relates to resolving hurt and effective ways to do that. And in this series that we're going to be giving you a framework for thinking about how to resolve hurt and also a pathway on communicating that to others. You know, resolving your hurt, it'd be nice when we're talking about resolving our hurt. It'd be nice if when someone hurt or offended us, they would not only be aware of what they did, but also take responsibility for making things right. But that's seldom the case. But that doesn't mean that you're stuck. You can do something to make positive movement forward in the relationship, and we're going to be talking about that. And so let's go ahead and jump right in with that. Hello, Karen. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. How about you?
Good. What do you think about this topic of learning how to respond to people when they've hurt us, and we're hoping that they will take the initiative, but they don't? Why is this such an important topic for us to learn how to initiate those conversations in a way that we can give those conversations the best chance of succeeding?
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes, why is it important? It's important because I think a lot of times people don't even realize that they've hurt you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're the one who has the feelings. And so it's important for us to learn how to be able to initiate that conversation in a way that doesn't create more like either backlash or additional hurts from that person as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's been my experience that oftentimes it does exactly what you said. It creates more backlash, you know. And, but there's actually a way that we can learn how to manage that, and we'll be talking about that later on in our broadcasts. But for now, I want to for us to watch a video that will give us a little bit of insight into all of this. And so let me go ahead and cue that video up, and then we will have a chance to watch it and comment on it afterwards. All right, what's the deal? That's not it. All right, I'm going to have to just cut that out. So here we go, starting now.
Something has happened between Taylor and Destiny, and Destiny is totally unaware that things have changed between them. Before, they both were excited about serving together on a project to bless others. They were enjoying one another's fellowship. Now, however, their relationship has taken a turn, not for the better. There's a breach in the relationship. Taylor's hurt, and Destiny doesn't have a clue that anything is wrong. When you consider the situation between Destiny and Taylor, one thing is clear. Taylor feels offended by Destiny. This is how Principle 1335 frequently breaks down in churches. It's not that Taylor shouldn't feel what she feels. That's not it at all. Even if Destiny didn't mean to offend, Taylor has the right to her feelings. Her feelings are her feelings, and she must take proper ownership of them. Additionally, it's not that Taylor should just overlook what Destiny did. Obviously, Taylor is not doing a very good job of that. Her conversation with Emily is all the evidence that we need. What happened with Destiny is bothering Taylor, and pretending otherwise doesn't make it go away. Furthermore, if Destiny truly is overstepping what makes for good relationships, she needs to be made aware of what she's doing and how it's impacting others. Taylor has the perfect opportunity to help Destiny grow as a leader. Left unchecked, Destiny will only do further harm to the church if she fails to learn how to work well with people. Since Taylor is the one feeling the offense, she's the one who owns the responsibility to seek resolution. She can be a champion for Principle 1335 in this case, if she will only have the courage to initiate a difficult conversation with Destiny. Probably the reason she's reluctant to make initiative is because she doesn't know how to effectively bring up the topic and manage the conversation with Destiny if it goes sideways. We'll explore this in upcoming lessons. It's worth noting that both people-pleasers and those with forceful personalities typically don't know how to do difficult conversations well. People-pleasers often settle for less than satisfactory resolution, and forceful personalities can make it difficult for people to talk with them. When it's their turn to bring up difficult topics, they often do it poorly. We'll look at all this a bit later. For now, understand that Principle 1335 can't thrive in any church where church leaders ignore it as a priority. That's true when leaders are causing offense, and it's true when leaders aren't properly processing their feelings when they feel offended. Taylor has a great opportunity to be a champion of Principle 1335, and this is probably a bigger contribution that she could make to the church than anything she might bring to the women's event. It's hard to know which is more common in a church, leaders who offend or leaders who fail to process their hurt healthily. Both undermine Principle 1335. And when Principle 1335 suffers, so does the witness of the church. In the next lesson, we'll talk about how the cycle of dysfunction keeps people stuck, and we'll see the best way to break free of it. For now, work through the discussion questions and finish the balance of this lesson.
Okay, so, obviously this is, these videos are developed within the context of church conflict. But, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, the principles that we learn in these videos are valuable in relationships of all types, friendships, business relationships, marriages, or whatever. And so that's what we want to do. We want to be able to kind of glean from this content some things that can benefit us. How about this topic of no clue? When we've been hurt by another, how frequent do you think it is that the other person doesn't seem to have a clue that we've been hurt by them?
Maybe like 99% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, men are horrible on picking up on that, and women kind of have. And I know that this is a horrible generalization. Okay, so just but I'm just an old guy, so you can just cut me some slack. But women have the kind of this expectation that, well, if I just drop enough hints, he's going to pick up on it. And normally the only hint that a guy picks up on is if you hit him between the eyes with a 2x4.
Maybe not do that.
Yeah, that's figuratively speaking, So,
right.
So, but go ahead. You were going to say something.
Oh, I think it's even true for women because, like, I'm one of those kind of people who's really literal, and so, kind of if you don't spell it out for me, I don't realize it, and I'm really sarcastic, but also have like a dry sense of humor, so I can say something with a straight face and totally mean it as a joke, but people don't realize I'm joking because, I think it's funnier if you're not like laughing when you tell a joke sometimes. So it does get me in trouble a lot, and I don't even know that somebody's upset at me sometimes when I'm like innocently not meaning it in a bad way, but it comes out across that way.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. So but I like what the video said, that Taylor has the right to her feelings. And we all do, whether or not the person intended to hurt us. If we're hurt, we have the right to those feelings. I remember one relationship I was in that was just like, I mean, it was just almost inevitable that I would say or do something that this person would be offended and hurt by.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no clue and
Yeah.
actually no intention. And I wasn't even joking around or anything. It's just like, it's almost as if my mere existence was enough to cause the offense. But, so Taylor has the right to her feelings. But I liked what the video said, that she also has the responsibility for initiating the conversation to work through that reconciliation process. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think even when you say you have the right to your feelings, yes, you have the right to your feelings. You also have the responsibility, even before, going for the resolution of it. Is it
Mm-hmm.
something you should even be upset about?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you find that I've learned this with my kids because I'll say you're annoying me or something like that. Well, if what they're doing is I'm becoming annoyed because of what they're doing, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily mean that they're annoying me. I'm just being annoyed, like that thing isn't like in
Yeah.
and of itself isn't that bad of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just very easily annoyed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
So am
uh,
I.
to put that on somebody, but to put that on somebody else,
Yeah.
like that's not their problem to like always make you not annoyed.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Yeah, I
my
know.
problem that I'm annoyed so easily.
Yeah.
You know.
I know
So
that early on in my relationship with Janice is that she would say something like, "You're making me mad." And I said, "I don't have the power to make you do anything," you know. And I tried, and then I tried to at least kind of like maybe help her to see that she's responsible for her feelings. And if you are upset or angry about something, then you also have the responsibility for communicating
mhm.
that anger or upset in a way that is going to give you the best chance possible of working through those hurts and those feelings.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you're making me mad is a statement like the you're annoying me kind of a thing is like the the thing is if the other person did something that is annoying or
Mm-hmm.
upsetting to you. Yeah, I mean, you're responsible for your feelings, but you're also, like the video says, responsible for the resolution. So either you're
Mm-hmm.
just gonna stay stuck in that mad or irritated state, or you're gonna like let it go, or you're gonna have to approach the person and try and resolve it.
Yeah. There's a passage of scripture in the book of Proverbs, and I'd have to look up the exact reference, but I know it's there. And it says, "It is a glory to a person to overlook an offense."
Hmm.
But the fact of the matter is that not all offenses can be overlooked.
Right.
And so there are times when we just kind of say it's not worth it. But
Hmm.
when when we keep circling back to a resentment
Yeah.
or an upset or being in a negative space with that person, well then you got to work through it. So sometimes you need to overlook it, but other times you must work through it. You
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So,
And that's
but
usually like in your close relationships. Like, I mean, if somebody cuts you off, you don't have to like go and try and work it out or whatever.
yeah, 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 exactly.
Probably best you don't.
Yeah. So
uh,
go ahead.
yeah. But I think that the way that the other person responds when you come to them says a
Mm-hmm.
lot with how far you're going to get in that, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like if you come to them and you say, hey, what you did really
Mm-hmm.
hurt my feelings. I'm
Yeah.
trying to let it go, but I'm having a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can explain to me why you said this or what you meant or whatever.
Yeah.
And
And
then they
and
blow up or they
yeah.
they continue in a negative course. Well, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of tells you what your expectations should be as far as like whether or not that person's capable of resolving the issue with you.
Yeah. You know, we're going to be talking a lot more about that as we go on. But I wanted to just touch on the idea of Taylor having the responsibility to help Destiny to grow as a leader. Because if Destiny is, and that's the loving thing to do. Now, whether or not we're talking about in a church context or whatever, you know, that the loving thing to do is to help an individual to grow in their character and in their abilities and so on and so forth. And by just pretending everything is okay, or blowing it off and going on, is that Destiny is going to her destiny is going to be to repeat these offenses again and again until they're brought to her attention to help her to resolve them. You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we talked about other important concepts in this video, but maybe we can save those for a future broadcast. How about for you? Anything else that you'd like to touch on before we wrap this one up?
I think like when, this one's obviously talking about the church, but for the the goal of having, when it talks about that, when we can't get along, then the witness of the church suffers, and to think past, like, bigger than what the issue is that the goal is that the church isn't suffering because of how we relate with other people, and the witness of the church isn't suffering.
Yeah.
And I think like you can take that into the context of a marriage or a work relationship too, is like in a marriage, bigger than, this issue is the preservation of the marriage, having our family unit not broken apart, that sort of thing,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, well, we're going to talk a lot more about all these things, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video for now, and then I hope that folks will join us for our next one along these lines to this whole study of Principle 1335, effective conflict management for Christian and churches. So, well, thank you, folks, for watching. And one of the topics that we mentioned in this particular video is the cycle of dysfunction. Now, that concept is like a key concept to understand. And so in our next video and some of the ones following that, we'll be exploring that topic a little bit further. Right now, what you need to know is that you can join us in our private Facebook group and make sure that you get all of the content that we post on these topics. And we're also giving the members of that private Facebook group free access to the entire 10 lessons of Principle 1335. And so we're making that available to you there in that group. So, okay. Well, I'm Kerry Decker, and both a pastor and life coach, and I hope that you will catch our next broadcast on this important topic of effectively managing conflict in your relationships. That's it for now.